here to behavioral session. And before I let Vikas introduce himself, as you all know, we are covering uh, the series in 8 weeks in the behavioral section and how you can actually excel at solutions architect interview. And this particular session will be talking about once you are in AWS as a solutions architect, how your first 3 to 6 months would look like. And for those who don't know, Vikas, he has delivered a session at reInvent on how to navigate your solutions architect career. Let me do one thing. Let me put that link here uh, so that everyone is able to look into that session later on. But for this session, obviously, we have Vikas live. So let's listen to him. Vikas.
And one more thing before we move on, I wanted to hear from you, Prasad, that why you propose this topic. That what is your intention of bringing this topic? Like, okay, people talk about interview, but we're going beyond the interview. Like, okay, what 3 to 6 months looks like. So give us a little bit hint on that, and then we'll start the conversation.
So idea when we were, creating the curriculum, and a lot of thought goes beyond and behind the scenes in creating the curriculum, and we all brainstorm a lot. And while brainstorming, it was like if we get able to peek into what a person does after joining, they would be able to understand to prepare ahead of the not only for just for joining but during the interview process also. It will help them to get into that groove. I always say, like, manifest the role that you are in, and then it will be always easier become to not only perform in that role but also to get into that role. So that was the idea, that we should be ending the series about, okay, now you're successful in getting into AWS as a solutions architect. How are you going to progress from there?
Makes sense. And I would add one more thing here. Why I voted for this session was because I feel that people think that as a role, hey, from the day one, I have to start delivering. I have to be into front of customer. I have to do design the next Netflix or design the Airbnb. So that's why people shy away from even applying. So that's why we thought let's give them an idea on what this looks like. We are not like letting you run into the field from the very first day. There's a whole solid onboarding process which Vikas and Prasad would be discussing. So we want to ensure that you know what the life looks before being a SA and after being SA at least for 6 months. So over to you. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. So Vikas, yeah, let's start with your introduction.
All right. Thanks, Prasad, Ashish. Thanks for having me here. I've heard about this program from a number of people, and I always wanted to attend it. So, thanks for inviting me here. A lot of people who I mentor or who reach out to me via LinkedIn or somewhere else, I I suggest them to go and explore this program and reach out to Prasad for better guidance. So, yeah, uh, dream come true, I would say. Thanks for having me here again. So my name is Vikas Gupta. I'm a manager of solution architecture at AWS based in the UK. When I say manager, means I take care of the team. I lead the team. I have a team of around 13 solution architects who work with financial services customers based in the UK. And within financial services, we have number of streams, sub-segment, I would say. So let's say insurance, banking, payment, capital markets. So my team takes care of the capital market customer, likes of stock exchanges, asset and wealth management, trading firms, and so on. Been here for 5 years. Actually, today is my work anniversary, I would say. So
Oh,
I
wow.
completed 5 years today. Orange badge, just I received yesterday from office. So what a day to be here. So before AWS, I worked for a number of companies, including Accenture, ING, Nuclear Software based in India. So different roles, different experiences in different parts of the world. I worked in India, Japan, Netherlands, Ireland, and now in UK. So every time I work with different culture, different set of people, it gives me more motivation and learnings and makes me more adaptive. So here I am to share my learnings with you.
Amazing. You're actually a global citizen, I would say. And yeah, leading a team of solutions architect, that's amazing. We'll be able to get a lot of insights from you. So I'll start with a very basic question. And like, you have many solutions architect in your team. You said you have 13 solutions architect at this moment in your team. So when a new solutions architect joined your team, what does the first 3 to 6 months for them typically looks like?
Yeah, very interesting question. Because I think when you are hired in AWS, it means you have already demonstrated a bar that we always look for. So you have done the heavy lifting already. You have made it. Now, what comes next? So before I talk about the 3 to 6 months, just give you a little bit more about the SA role. I'm sure it is already explained, but for me, SA role is about leading the technical relationships with the customers or partner organizations and stakeholders you work with. And in AWS, we have different personas of solution architect role. So one type is account SA, where you are a journalist and you work with customers as an account SA. So you take care of the technical ownership with your customer, like a shadow CTO. So you help them build the technical strategy, and help them adopt AWS services or any technology that is relevant for them to meet their business objectives. You can also work as a partner SA with a similar role, but you are particularly working directly with the partners so that they can use AWS services to build their solutions, and they can use those solutions to help their own customers. So now coming to your question, Prasad, about first to 6 months as an AWS SA, this period is when the new joiner SA have done their onboarding and they have most likely get their customer or account allocated to them. But during the onboarding, they have gone through a lot of trainings, programs, learning mechanisms, learning about Amazon culture, learning about different mechanisms like working backwards, day one culture, two-way door, one-way door. So different mechanisms. I'm sure you have either explained or you know from the Amazon portal that we have, because we are very proud of evangelizing all these mechanisms. We help our customers, but also the enthusiasts to learn more about them. So with this program, the onboarding phase, the new joiner get to learn about Amazon culture, various mechanisms. They also complete
I'll
number
ask
of
a
train.
question
Yeah,
here. How long is this onboarding?
typically the onboarding is the 3 months, um, because the manager creates a plan about a new joiner even before they join, and that plan includes meeting number of people to learn from their experience. You also get an onboarding buddy that help you learn more about Amazon culture, but also help you navigate through different programs that you get enrolled to. You also work on enhancing your technical skills. So of course you have come with some kind of technical background, but we help you learn more. For example, you do a program called architecting on AWS. So you go through in-person or virtual trainings with an instructor-led program, and you also build a project that helps you gain some technical hands-on expertise on various AWS services. There is also a program which enhances your functional capabilities or as an SA role. We call that Awesome Builder, and it's a three-phase program. um, for example, if I join Prasad, your team, just want to give an example. So Prasad being a tenured SA, uh, as Prasad will play a role play of an exec. So I will create a AWS value proposition deck, and I will present to Prasad. And Prasad, being a customer exec role play, he will provide me the feedback. So with this experience, I would learn how to actually work directly with the customer. How do I earn their trust? How do I help them understand AWS value proposition? How do I learn how to get better understanding of customers' business objective? That's phase one. In the second phase, I would create a project with hands-on, using my hands-on capabilities and with all the programs that I've gone through, and I create a POC, which is the second phase, and then I present to Prasad again to get a feedback on technical capabilities. So that helps me dive deep into the technical components of the SA role. And in the third phase, I do the whiteboarding session with Prasad again, and Prasad will do the role play of the customer exec again. So that will give me another chance to learn my capability and improve my skills on how to do the whiteboarding session. So in this whole functional training program of 3 phases, you get to learn about how to earn customer trust, how to create a POC, how to do whiteboarding session, and how to take the whole meeting for the next step, because you want the customer to feel motivated that AWS is the partner, and it's the right partner to help them create the the solutions that they want to build for their own customer. So there are a variety of trainings, technical, business oriented, to help you create the business acumen that you need as an SA. This is the summary of the first 3 months on the onboarding phase.
Yeah, and if I remember my onboarding 2019, I remember attending architecting on AWS in-person session. It was a really fun 2 day. It was I think 3 day session because I did a advanced and architecting together. So it was a combined. So there are two separate trainings: architecting on AWS and advanced architecting on AWS.
Yeah.
I was somehow able to get into a cohort that was a combined of both. And 3 days, it was really fun, full 3 days event. Yeah, and yeah, those first 3 months, depending upon where you are in your journey, it might be very intense. There are a few people who come with a very good AWS experience already because they have been with AWS customers or they have built architectures before. And then they focus more on the culture side of it, understanding the Amazon culture, Amazon leadership principles. They focus a lot on networking with as many people as possible. I spent a lot of my onboarding meeting a lot of people as much as possible in person at that time. But if people are in different geographies, virtually. Um, but for me, because I was coming from a technical background but zero cloud background, so I had no AWS experience. So I had to ramp up a lot on AWS also, and the amount of resources that we have internally is amazing in
Yeah.
terms of learning. It's like drinking from a higher fire hose, right? But it's a great experience. Even I was worried that okay, if I'm joining without AWS experience, and if they ask me to talk to customers about AWS as a AWS SA, it will be very difficult for me. But those 3 months sets you up actually. So do not worry much
Yeah.
about after getting into, will you be getting enough training? You will be getting enough training. Yes, just use that time wisely. The biggest tip I got at that time from my manager is that do not rush in putting your hands up that you're ready for customer conversations, because once you do that, then there is no going back. So take your time as much as you need to get yourself ramped up. So thank you, Vikas, for sharing the entire what happens during that uh, in onboarding, right?
And Prasad, you touched upon a very good point that I want to elaborate. The networking. I think this is really, really important, because when you joined as a new SA, sometimes you feel overwhelmed that how would I learn so many things? How would I keep an eye on all the new announcements that are coming? How do I earn customer trust? Because you are surrounded by tenured Amazonians, and sometimes it is overwhelming. But networking is the key. You get to work with your tenured team members, and you learn from them. There is a lot of osmotic learning. When you are in a team meeting, you understand how people discuss the different topics. How do they discuss the challenges? How do they help customers in preparing the roadmap? How do we get the best of the AWS in front of the customer? We have different organizations within AWS, like partner organizations, ProServe, enterprise support, BDs. How do we create a team that can serve the best interest of the customer? And that's what you learn from that atmospheric discussion, osmotic discussions. And networking is key. Like I met Prasad at reInvent last year, I think 4 months ago, and we discussed about this session, and that's how I got this opportunity to be here. So yeah, networking is key, I would say.
Yeah, and it helps a lot. See, it's as a technology, it is evolving, and it is so vast that you cannot be master of everything. You cannot be expert of everything. So I am a solutions architect with a specific specialty on Microsoft workloads. During that onboarding networking, I met a lot of different specialists, like networking specialist, serverless specialist, security specialist. All of them now have been 5 years into AWS. Now, if I need someone's deep expertise on networking, they are simply a ping away, just because I have built that network over the years. So use that initial time, and overall, it always helps to have a really good network, both in terms of navigating the organization as well as when you would need help technically. Believe me, you would need help technically. However good you are technically, you'll always get stuck. There is a level we can dive deep into in each and every field, right? And for that, I'll take a question from audience. Vikas, Vijay says that he has a Azure Solutions Expert certification. would it be a good strategy to enhance those skills and map them to AWS services during interviews? Would this allow me to apply early?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we get number of applicants who have no knowledge on AWS, but they are very good on other cloud service providers like Azure or maybe GCP. When we hire someone, we don't expect them to be an AWS expert. We expect them to be technically capable. They should be able to understand the problem and they should be able to apply some logic uh, to create some kind of roadmap to solve problem. And it could be an Azure technology, it could be GCP technology at the time of hiring. But when you are in AWS, we help you learn the AWS services because that's what we we talk about when we are meeting customer. So it's always a good strategy to learn a different cloud service provider capabilities as well. And when you have joined AWS, we also encourage people to know about other cloud as well, because we want to make sure that we are aware of what's going on in the wider industry. What are the trends? How do we create a better value proposition about our own AWS services when we are talking to customer? We are not competitor obsessed, we are customer obsessed. So in order to be a good customer obsessed solution architect, you need to have your eyes and ears open. And when if you have Azure capabilities along with AWS, it's a bonus. Like it even if you have to have all the certifications of for AWS, it's so time taking. And on top of that, if you're on Azure expert, that's definitely a much bigger bonus. So yeah, I would always encourage to go wider.
Yeah, like having skills of multi-cloud is always beneficial.
Yeah.
Having a AWS skill is during the interviews is a good to have, not must have, right? So do not worry if you don't have AWS, and if you are good at other cloud providers, it's simple mapping. Don't worry on that. Okay, let's continue our discussion. There are a few other questions that are coming on the chat, but I'll come back to it later. Let's continue our discussion, and let's talk about what kind of training and certifications are recommended in the first few months.
Yeah. So as part of the onboarding plan, the managers create some technical certifications that are needed to in order to become an effective SA, so that you can dive deep on technical discussions with customer. So first certification that we recommend is the Associate Solution Architect cert, because some, as I said, a lot of applicants come with non-AWS background, and when you do the associate cert first, it creates a solid foundation for you. Well, and some people have already done that. So if they have already done that, we take the next step, which is the SA Pro, which actually helps you prepare much better to become a solid technical architect in front of the customer. But SA Pro needs a solid experience as well. Like you cannot just read and do some mocks and then take the test. It has to have some kind of few years of experience on solid architecting on AWS. So that's the second step. Some essays, a few essays, they also take some specialist cert path. If they have passion to learn more about AI, ML, Gen AI, then they take the machine learning specialty cert. Some people are passionate about data, database, AI. So depending on your passion, you can also take the specialist path. Because we as an account SA, we are generalist. My team is an account SA, but there are also specialist SA like Prasad. So they follow their passion to become a container specialist or a data specialist or a Microsoft workload specialist. So different certs for your different capabilities. In AWS internal also, we have some internal certifications. So for example, if you want to speak in a public event like reInvent or London Summit, you need to have a speaker cert at certain level. So we start with an associate speaker and then senior speaker and then speaker bar raiser. So different levels of speaking capabilities that you need to develop in order to become an effective speaker. So that covers your soft skills, and that the earlier one that I mentioned covers your technical skills. Prasad, am I missing anything?
No, you're spot on actually. Depending upon where your journey is, because if I talk about my journey again, I started with as associate certification after joining AWS. Then I went on to go take other associate certifications. At that time, we had developer associate, and sysops associate. Now I believe we have one more associate, right? That's on data or machine learning. We have one more
Yeah.
associate certification right now. I took all the three associate certifications, and then I went to a pro certification, because as Vikas mentioned, that it takes a while to get to the pro. Okay, now let's say the onboarding is complete. The person has got the minimum threshold of technical skills and have gone through the awesome builder program, got the soft skills required. Now the person feels that they're ready to start engaging with the customer, right? So how
Yeah.
does that happen? How do a new SA start engaging with customers and start solving real world problem?
Yeah, great question. So once you have attained that technical and business acumen bar that we expect after going through the onboarding, then just near the closing of your onboarding, you expect your managers to allocate a customer or partner to you. So if I'm a new SA after 3 months, my manager would assign a customer that, okay, from now onwards, you are the account SA of this customer. But we are not going to throw you under the bus. Okay, you go and do it. No, that's not how it works. So you start with a shadowing experience. So if I'm a new joiner and Prasad is a tenured SA, I would start shadowing Prasad's call. So Prasad would lead the call um, uh, during the customer discussion, and I will be a shadow SA, and I will continue to take notes. I will start learning how Prasad interact with customer, and I get that learning experience for maybe a week or for a few weeks, depending on what sort of arrangement how confident you are. Because Prasad being the tenured SA, he will continue to provide me feedback also. Like he will help me decide if I'm ready or not, because that's the feedback mechanism we have in AWS. Prasad would be my mentor as well, because I'm shadowing his calls, so he wants to make sure that I have a good learning experience, and get I get a good capability so that I can independently handle my own customers. So the shadowing goes for few weeks or months, and then the reverse shadowing start. So then I lead the call as a new joiner, and then Prasad will shadow my call, and Prasad will observe how I'm interacting with customer, and Prasad would also can jump in to add more insights and help me navigate through the customer calls or meetings. And Prasad in the background, in the when we are not in the meeting, Prasad can also help me how to create a strategy roadmap, how to create a technical account plan, how to prepare well before the customer call, and when the customer meeting is done, how do I prepare the next steps? How do I help them go to the next step? So this is the like a mentoring mechanism that we have in AWS, shadowing and then reverse shadowing. And when I'm ready with all the shadowing and reverse shadowing mechanism, then I start independently take up the customer engagements. So this is the mental model that we normally work with, because we want to make sure when you're working with customer, you are earning their trust, and the customer trust you as a technical advisor. And in order to build that trust, you need to have a learning experience. So first 3 months is about onboarding, learning technical skills, onboarding skills, but the next 3 months is more about having practical experience in front of the customer. Different assays can take various variable time. It could be few weeks for few assays who have done that in the past. We also hire assay from other part of the AWS. For example, a premium support engineer who aspire to be an assay, they may have different background, so they might take different time than an assay who was who joined as an assay, who had previous experience. So depending on your background, we have that variable time of shadowing and reverse shadowing.
Yeah, that's actually, you explained it really well. It's a gradual process to set you up for success, right? It's not going to happen overnight, and there's no pressure on you also. Um, so it's a gradual process that will set you up success. Initially, it will be a lot of self-paced learning, and when you feel you're ready for the field, then your shadowing and reverse shadowing would start. A funny incident happened with me. I was around in my fourth or fifth month, and this was just before coronavirus actually happened. It was February of 2020, 2020, yeah, February 2020. when there was a in-person meeting happening in Poland. We were based in London, and we were going there, and I was going there as a shadow. But the main SA who had to come there to deliver was not able to join us because of some flight delay or something. And suddenly I had to start delivering, and I was so nervous. But there were other people in the room who were actually there to help me and out and gave me the feedback afterwards that how I could have done better. But yeah, it's a really good and fun experience that you go through in the first 6 months, and after that you are on your own. What I love about the SA role is that it gives a lot of autonomy to you. You can decide on the kinds of tasks that you would like to work on. So once you are kind of like gone through this process, then you can create your own schedule about what you would like to focus on.
Yeah.
Cool. I know we have only few minutes left, so let me see if we can take one or two questions, right? Where do we start? Okay, this is the interesting question. Out of 0 to 10, how much SA should be hands-on? See, SA is a hands-on role, but I'll let Vikas answer this.
Yeah, we encourage builder mentality. So unless you have that practical experience of navigating through the through the dozens of services we have, you have to prepare a solution that works best for the customer. And how can you prepare a solution when you don't know how actually that service works, or how that complete package works? How do we integrate different services? So I would say, yeah, my ideal essay would be 10 out of 10, that they should be hands-on. But s- some essays may have variable uh, numbers when we say 0 to 10 in terms of hands-on experience. Some people are really great in um, diving deep into the business problems, business objectives, and they probably sometimes they don't feel the need of being the 10 out of 10 hands-on essay. So depending on your role and your experience level, you could be in a different uh, scale. But yeah, for me, hands-on, 10 out of 10.
I completely agree with you. SA is a hands-on role. What I would like to clarify is hands-on does not mean coding.
Yeah.
Right? Working with customer, interacting with them, whiteboarding with them is also a hands-on. That means you do have the entire knowledge. It does not mean that you are the person who is building the whole application from scratch. There will be like development team that will be doing at the customer side, but you helping them to understand that big picture, coming up with that high level architecture, reviewing the high level architecture, even that is a lot of hands-on work. And a lot of people think that solution architecture is just about development, and from development you become solution architect. That's not the case. You can be from completely infrastructure background. A lot of infrastructure people with a strong infrastructure background, like people who have worked in data centers, they become really good solutions architect because they know how the whole placement of these racks and the storage and compute and virtualization, all of that works. So if you're defining hands-on as code, let's not do that. If you're defining hands-on as being actually in the room, working with the customer, helping them solve the problem, it is 10 out of 10. Okay, let's move on. Let me see how much. We are almost on time. Ashish, I'll let you come on and see if there is any other question. Let
Yeah,
me.
means there are questions, but I think there is time limit is always there in behavioral track. So we 30 minutes is always because is where we have a lot of questions from people, and this is an interesting session, like understanding how actually people work on. So there are questions. Let's take one more question, Prasad, if you feel, and if Vikas is okay with that, and then we
Yeah.
will keep moving forward. So
Okay.
when we talk about like how somebody, let me pick up the specific question which I was seeing. I have to express notification. Give me a minute. Parna is giving us a lot of questions into the chat, so I'm picking up that. uh, Sorry, I'm still struggling. So the question summary was like, once you've been into SA role, and let's say Prasad talked about 3 to 6 months, what other support mechanism exists to help you out as an SA, in case you are not, you are feeling overwhelmed, or there's a tough customer or tough situation?
Yeah, as Prasad mentioned, you don't have to be expert on everything, and you have a support mechanism in place. So first of all, your manager being your manager, he could be your coach or she could be your coach, and they can help you navigate through different challenges. You also get a mentor when you are in your first to 6 months. So the mentorship helps you to learn a lot. You can always request for more mentorship. There is an internal mentor portal, and you can go and find the right person depending on what you're looking for. If you want to develop a technical skill in particular area, you can filter and you can find the set of people, and then you can choose who would you like to be through the mentor program. Apart from that, we have specialist teams on various capabilities. So as I said, if your customer is looking for something on container, there is specialist container expert who you can request their support for your customer engagement. If I have a, let's say, Microsoft workload related expertise that I need, I would go and reach out to Prasad through a formal mechanism, and Prasad can pick up that request, and Prasad can join my customer meetings and help me onboard, or sorry, whiteboard the session, but also create the architecture that is needed for building their solution. So a lot of mechanisms available.
Mechanisms exist.
People, we don't leave people to face the problems. We try to help them succeed in this
Exactly.
role.
That's what teams are all about. So yeah, I
Yeah.
agree on that. So lots of interaction is required, and that's the first 3 to 6 months. Build your network. Try to understand how other businesses work, what their priorities are, how you can fit it into those priorities, how you can leverage them, or you could be leveraging, you could become a leverage to them. So that's how it works. But yeah, interesting discussion, and thanks for that, Vikas, sharing all the things. And people who could not get all the questions answered, check Vikas session, which he delivers into Reinvent. I think it's been 2 3 years you are delivering the similar sessions, like on the solution architect track.
So my this was my first session, but my colleagues delivered the same session but with different
Okay,
content. So every year we come
different.
up
Yeah,
with a different
content
content.
differs, but yeah,
Yeah,
you
but I
but that
would
is
I would
solution
I would love
architect.
to join more of your session if you want to like,
Exactly.
yeah,
That's we need all the hands we can.
definitely.
Thank you so much, and everyone. Thank you for your questions, and we hope you have been enjoying the session. It's been 8 weeks, and it's the last session, so a bit of sweet and sour feeling also, because now I can do something on my Saturday. That is one good thing. But yeah, now again, I want to look forward to have more sessions with you. We also learn while we interact with you. Some question which you ask, we may not know answer, we go back to the documentation, we go back to services, come back with the answer. So that also keeps us on our toes. And to deliver a better customer experience is always, we are obsessed for being an Amazonian. So that's what we are looking for. So keep your feedback coming. We'll be communicating with you through email, but our doors are open for communication. If you want to use Discord channel, if you want to reach out on LinkedIn, if you want to mail to us back, feel free, give us feedback, and we will also share some more things. There is a quiz which we wanted to share from long, and Parna has done a lot of work on that quiz. So we'll be sharing that quiz link also in email, so that you could practice on your own and validate some of your learning which you have done. So that's all I would say. Thanks everyone. And if everyone is okay to be on stage again, let me add everyone, and let's take a formal goodbye, and then we will be meeting again in some time. And Sashank, thanks for the session. It was an interesting session too.
Yeah,
Good.
thanks
So
everyone for joining for continuous,
it's
eight
not an
weeks.
easy task.
It's not easy, mainly from the audience perspective. I know there are so many things going on in everyone's life, and with professional things and stuff, and then still you're taking time to upskill yourself. That's great. And as Ashish mentioned, that please keep your feedback coming, and in case if you have any suggestions on how we can improve this, let us know. Yes, we will go back to our drawing board for our next season very soon. Obviously, we all will take a couple of weeks for ourselves, and we'll start enjoying our Saturdays too. But after that, we will regroup and we'll think about the next BESA batch. So if you have any suggestions about what we should be covering, let us know. Again, it will be focusing both on technical and behavioral. Like if you remember in the BESA batch 6, we covered the AI practitioner fundamentals on the technical track. In this time we covered the hands-on workshops, right? So we can think about what we would be covering next time. Any suggestions, let us know. Similarly, on the behavioral, as you folks know, we keep on experimenting every time with different types of content, so we will experiment again. So yeah, suggestions are more than welcome. Thanks again for everyone joining.
Thank you.
Parna, Shashank, where you want to add something?
No, I think it was a great run, this series, and it was wonderful having Vikas here. I think he just went off. So, really great insights. I mean, even though we are Amazonians, but every time we get to learn too,
There is
both
something to
technical
learn.
as
I
well
agree.
as behavioral. You can never learn too much, right?
Oh,
There's always
I
something more. So it's
Yeah,
really amazing.
I
And
would
because
quote Bernard Shaw. He says that you can never be overdressed or you can be never overeducated. So keep on doing it.
definitely, and as all of us are in different places and have different perspectives, we learn even more. I mean, if people don't know, we are
Completely
all in
makes sense.
different parts of the world. Yeah, that's from me.
Good.
Bye and thank you from my side.
Shashank, Kavya.
I would say just thank you. Thank you is like thank you to the team for making it happen. Thank you for the opportunity. And I was just going through the comments, the way people respond or the way they have their questions and genuinely willing to learn. It just keeps us driving. That's all I can say, Ashish. That's it from my end. Running short of words, precisely.
Great. And Kavya is the newest addition in our volunteers. So obviously want to hear what she liked and what she didn't.
I think I like everything about this program, and I'm looking forward for the next batch. Thank you
Me
so
too.
much, everyone.
We will do that soon. And yeah, we are getting some suggestions also. We'll work on it. So keep your suggestions coming. We are only 5 6 or 7 people, so our ideas, but when we combine with multiple ideas from you, that can obviously create wonders. So feel free to share ideas. Keep reach out to us, email, LinkedIn, Discord, and keep the momentum going. We will be soon back with more new interesting stuff. Till then, have a good thing and enjoy your time and keep us informed about anything. Prasad, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I just pasted the BESA page link that Marco created. So
Yes,
we have a new public-facing LinkedIn page
LinkedIn
for
page.
BESA. We do have a group, but we realized that it's better to have a page than a group because a group is limited to only the people who join it. Page is something it is publicly available for everyone. So please do follow it and share it with your friends, colleagues, and we'll be posting about uh, the future
Sessions.
thought process that we have. We
Yeah.
will we'll keep brainstorming publicly in the group in that LinkedIn page. So do follow us and see you all next time.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night, good day, or good evening. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye.